Hey guys, Crusader Kid here, and today on Saturday Crusade, I just want to talk about a few life events and things that personally affect me and things that I want to talk about, and also I want to talk about how to make money so you can afford bad boys like these.
What you doing on my back?
What's up guys, welcome to the channel, and this is Saturday Crusade. If you're not aware of what Saturday Crusade is about, it's because I started these Snapchat stories called Jesse's Tips, where I talked about tips and things that were on my mind, and I just it kind of grew into a thing where I'm not going to say it's popular, but a lot of people really enjoy and actually care about what I have to say, and inspired me to make, YouTube videos about it. And I hope that, everything's going to work out great for this video, and hopefully, you guys like and subscribe to really help out the channel and really make me feel like I'm doing something by doing this. Now, first thing I want to talk about is karma. I do not believe in karma. I believe in karma, but not the same way. I don't believe karma is this natural force that goes around that equalizes the world. Like, it's not some force of nature, it's just a coincidence. I like to think of it. Karma to me is a coincidence where someone does something bad and then something bad happens to them. That to me is what karma is, just a coincidence of bad luck happening to someone who did something bad. And I experienced that today. I kind of just want to talk about karma. I am a Christian. I do not believe in karma. I believe things happen for a reason. And sometimes I'm a little bit iffy in the situation. Like, I feel like rolling a dice. God doesn't decide. Well, he does. I don't think he really thinks about it. Like, if I roll dice, God's like, okay, on this moment, that dice is gonna land like that. I believe that he knows which way the dice will land, and that if he wanted to, he could change it. And that's how I feel. I don't feel like he handpicks everything. But I think he knows the outcome, and I think if he wanted to, he can change it. But it just rolling a dice for no reason, God's not gonna do some divine, intervention on the dice. I really don't believe. Now, getting lucky, I think sometimes you can get lucky, but I feel like a lot of times just a coincidence is played off as luck, and sometimes miracles also are played off as luck. So that's just, I kind of want to lay down the ground rules of what I think karma is. And if you disagree, let me know down in the comment section. And if you want to, you can debate me on this. I really want to have a debate on this channel one day. And hopefully it's nothing too serious, but I will have a serious debate if people want me to. But the reason why I'm going to bring this up, I'm going to bring a little bit of backstory on this. Me and this kid in our welding class, we don't hate each other, we like each other, but we'll nitpick at each other. But today it got a little bit more extreme. Usually it's just verbal words or threats, but today we were throwing around a football, and he threw the football and it hit me right in the nuts. And I guess if you're a woman, you may not understand, because getting hit in the nuts is a different pain than actually getting hit somewhere else. But it hurt really bad, and I wanted to just hit him in the nuts back. The problem is, I don't believe in hitting men in the nuts or whatever, because usually when you hit somebody in the face, you use actual force to hit them. You're hitting them with actual power, and it kind of shows that you're actually strong. You're not, because when you hit somebody in the nuts, you can be the weakest wimp, you can be a coward and hit somebody in the nuts and hurt them. But whenever you hit someone in the face, you actually got to have strength behind it. It actually has to hurt because of you, not just because of where you're hitting. If that makes any sense. I'm not saying it's okay to go around hitting people, but I feel like hitting someone in the face has more value and more meaning behind it than it does if you just hit somebody in the nuts. And unless you're fighting for your life, you should never hit a man in the nuts. Now, definitely there are situations where it would be okay to hit a man in the nuts, but just because you got into an argument or you disagree with them, you should never. It should be a serious matter, like a life or death situation, before you would try to do something like that. But long story short, I wanted to do it, but I knew deep down that I could never bring myself to do that. I'm not like that. Even if I really wanted to, that's kind of a line I do not cross. But then later on the day, we were like kicking around chairs and just trying to make them slide across the floor. And it turns out I'm not very intelligent when it comes to kicking chairs, because I went to go kick the chair, and instead of it sliding, if like, because like there's like the front side where you sit down, and the back side, like the back resting area, and instead of like actually kicking like the front area, I kicked the back, and it ended up flipping over, and the leg of the chair comes down and hits him in the shin and like breaks the skin, and it causes like bruising, I think a little bit of bleeding, and I didn't mean to do it. It was 100% complete accident. Do I regret it? Not really. Hitting him in the nuts kind of hurts a little bit. He disagrees. He thinks that hitting me in the nuts with a foam football at like half strength is not equal to me full force kicking a chair into his shins by accident. I mean, we had to wear safety glasses or whatever, and I put his back, which was like 10 feet away, so I feel like we're even. He completely disagrees. I mean, let me know what you guys think in the comments section, but I think that if anything, he owes me now, because we both hurt each other, but then I put away his glasses. He thinks I owe him a candy bar or something. Like, no. Actually, I probably will. I'm not gonna lie. I'll probably be like, you know what, just for, craps and giggles, I guess, or just because it may be a little bit funny, I'll get him one. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about karma real quick, and just I don't believe in karma. You may disagree. I kind of want to hear what you guys think. I know some people are really big on everything's there for a reason, like karma is like an actual natural force that goes on. Some people kind of believe what I believe, that it's more of a coincidence than an actual force of nature. Some people don't believe in karma at all. They just believe random events happen and that it was just nothing more than a coincidence, but even though they still don't like to call it karma, to them, karma is just a myth, made up being, and that reasons happen for just because they do. Let me know what you guys think about that. Now, I'm going to do like a little sports section on these two, but the problem is I'm not a big basketball fan. I've never really been a big basketball fan. So it's really hard to relate. I mean, I can watch it a little bit, but that's just never the sports I played. I played a little bit in grade school, but my biggest sports were always like football, wrestling, and like what I watch now is like mixed martial arts. So there's this mixed martial artist called Ben Askren. He was also a folk style wrestler. He was a very successful and well accomplished one. And now he does mixed martial arts. He was with like one championship and I think one more Pride or whatever. Can't think of what it's called. But he's like undefeated. He joined the UFC, won his UFC debut, and now he's gonna fight Jordan Burroughs, which is the most like I think he's considered the GOAT of wrestling. He does freestyle. I think he did folk style too. Really well accomplished, and it's like him coming back. He's definitely not in the same wrestling shape. Wrestling is probably you have to be the most in shape for wrestling. Definitely. I mean, I guess in the later rounds of like mixed martial arts or boxing, I guess it may be a little bit more. But the physical demand in wrestling, I think, is the greatest out of all sports. Now in the UFC, it's a little bit different or like boxing, because you're actually getting hit. But Ben Askren, the way he explained it, he has to get way more in shape for wrestling, because wrestling is all about who's the stronger, more endurance person, usually most of the time. So he's going back to do that, so he may be a little bit of a handicap. But to me, this is just like Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. I know a lot of people liked McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather better because, they're like well-known combat athletes. So to you guys, this may not seem as big as a deal, but to me, I think this is absolutely amazing, and you guys should go look into it and go watch it. Now, the next section I wanted to talk about was how to make money, and this came up to me a little bit of how I would do things or things that I would recommend to you, and I'm not going to go really far in depth into this. I mean, I have a limited amount of time that I can do this and talk about this, but for the time have, I'm going to give you just a few simple steps that I would take. Now, I just want to make sure that you guys know I'm not an expert. I'm not like an economic expert. This is something I went to college for to study. These are just my observations and studies that I've talked to people and things I've looked up. This is what the conclusions I have come to. Now, it's really hard to tell for each individual instance, but I will try to do my best to capture a wide variety of people. But if you want to, message me individually, I guess I could tell you my thoughts on your personal opinion. I really wouldn't go to me for absolute like certainty on what everything I need to do. Hey guys, sorry, I don't remember where I left off last. I was rudely interrupted by my brother because he has no idea what professional C is like, or how to not be annoying. But I think I left off when I was talking about how I'm not an expert, so my bad about that. But I'm not an expert at this at all. These are just conclusions that I came to as I've talked to other adults, people that actually own a business, and things I've looked up online. And this is what I've come to. These are my conclusions. So I'm not like saying that I have all the answers, especially when I don't know everybody's individual cases. But I'll try to get like a wide variety of the people, like a wide spectrum of people, and give them a few tips. Like I said, when it comes to individual people, I really can't specify a lot. But these are things I'm coming to. And then I just kind of want to say this: me telling you how to do things or how to like run a business or how to make money would be like me trying to tell you how to lift weights when I can't lift any weights at all.
Bye, Jesse.
That's not like that like me in that video could definitely not tell you how to live your life or how to lift, because in the video I had absolutely zero weights on there and I was struggling. So that's the kind of same way. It's also like, let's just say a famous painter, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I can't, I haven't painted anything famous. I'm not a famous painter, but it will be one day. So let me show you how to do it. It's not how life works. But I can teach you a few things that I've learned. So maybe other kids that are like me, it's like still in high school or getting ready to graduate, or they're just trying to make money on the side, what they would be doing. And these are kind of what my tips are. So I'm also recording this separately for recording purposes, but then it closed and I gotta restart. So hopefully if my audio fails, I will have absolutely nothing. Yay. But let me just talk about a few tips. Let me just pull this out. I'm gonna have to pull it up a little bit later. I know I have paper notes. I just want to talk about, first ground zero is understand what capitalism is. Capitalism is probably one of the best ways to make money, like society-wise. The free market is definitely where you want to be. It's really how you like the amount of money you make. It depends solely on you, and who else makes money depends on you. And the best way to look at your money is a certification of you helping out your like a neighbor or somebody or your community in general. And it's a certificate to prove that. So let's just say you go and mow someone's lawn, which helps make your neighborhood look nicer, and you also provided a service for somebody so they didn't have to do it themselves. And then you want people to know that you did this. They'll give you money as a certification proving that you helped out the community. That's whenever you go to the store and you want to go buy something. Well, it took people in a factory to make it, and then it took people, the truck driving, to bring it here, and then it took the person over the counter to sell it to you. And basically, they want to know, like, all these people are helping out you in your community. How are you helping out the community? And by showing them the $20, it proves that you did something to help out the community. Now, this isn't always the case because, birthdays or something, you get money from there. Or maybe you're born to wealth and your parents give you money. It's not the same thing, but at least they did something to earn that money and then they're giving it to you. And that's how you should be looking at it, is a certification of what you've done, to basically proof of what you've done. And that's how you should look at money. And if you look at money that way, it makes a lot more sense on why we do things the way we do. Why do we cherish money? Because it proves what we've done. And some people just look at money as a way to buy things, which it is. You're not wrong. It's the currency to buy things. But whenever you look at it as, your proof of helping others in the community or giving a service to people, makes you a little bit more appreciative of the money, and if that makes any sense. And that's the way that I look at it. Now, I understand also capitalism is also it's a very great way to have a free market, because what's happening is you have like businesses, and if you don't like that business, you don't buy their products. And then the company has two options: either fix what you don't like about it, or they just go under. And because of this makes companies really competitive with each other and try to provide you the best service, so you get the best deal if they provide the best service. And that causes people to lower their prices, have better, services. And by doing that, you have companies that everybody enjoys and likes. Now, occasionally you have the government bail them out, which kind of ruins capitalism, but that's a video for a different day. I just want to make sure you guys understand that, money is intended to be, the reward for helping out other people in your community. But I will definitely get into capitalism on a later day and why it's the greatest the best opportunity to make money. That's what I meant to say. But the first step is to find a job, any job. This isn't your dream job or the job that's going to make you the most money. You just want to find any job that you can. And in 2019, it's not that hard to do anymore. The standards for hiring are very down low, which they're about to be on the rise in a little bit because of the raise in minimum wage. If you're going to pay someone $15 an hour to do something, you want to make sure they do it very well. So, kids and people that aren't appealing to look at may, not get the job anymore. Which, if you can't find one, we're going to go to step 2, so just skip to number 2. Change your appearance and your attitude. Now, I think, honestly, attitude is more important once you have the job, but in order to get the job, your outwards appearance is probably the most important thing. People talk about all the time how usually, for job interviews, it's like the first 3 seconds they look at you, they usually decide right then and there if they want you or not. And I just want to let you guys know that you can live whatever lifestyle you want. You can do whatever you want. If you want to dye your hair, get piercings all over, full-on buy tattoos on your face, you can do that. That is your right as an American. You can do that. But don't expect everybody to accept it or like it. And that's the problem that people run into. They say, you shouldn't be judging me by my appearance. But the problem is that it's kind of a smart business strategy. It's not kind of smart, it is smart. Because I've noticed this. People, let's say if you work for a place that deals with kids and you have full body tattoos and piercing and you scare the children away. Not the best idea. You could be like, well, they shouldn't be judging me. I'm actually great with children. But it doesn't matter if you scare away the parents. Or if you don't even work for that. What if you work at like a fast food restaurant and people don't want to go there anymore because they don't want to deal with you because they don't like the way you look? You can say this is a sad truth or people need to change, but the reality is they're probably not going to, and they're not going to hire you because they'll never be forced into that position to change because they're never going to hire you because that's not what people want. There's plenty of other places that won't hire that kind of person. So yes, you can live whatever life you want, but don't expect people to expect that or like it or tolerate it because that's not how it works. So you may not get the job because of it. And if that's too hard for you, there's places like Hot Topic that you can go to and work there. But I don't know how much money you make there, but I'm just saying you can changing your attitude on. If you actually want to work hard, you actually want to dedicate yourself and, dressing better, wearing like a polo shirt instead of just, a wife beater or a tank top. It could really change how quickly you get the job. And the third one I want to go to is find a job where you can excel. Now, a lot of people want to shoot straight for the job that pays the most money. And sometimes you need to go for a job that has more money. Let's say you lose your job and you already have like a family and kids. Yes, you want to have a job that can support everybody. But sometimes starting small, you can find a job that excels. Like, let's just say McDonald's, for instance, working like the counter, sweeping the floors, you're not going to make a lot of money that way. But eventually, you will get raises, and then you could get promotions, and you could go to store manager, then whatever after store manager, and then you work with the whole corporation, and you can make a lot of money that way. No, initially, you don't make the most money, but it's a job you can excel at. It doesn't matter where you fall in line, as long as you can excel at it. Now, some jobs, the acceleration is too slow, you might not even want to do that at all, but at least find a job where you can excel if that's what you want to do, is make a lot of money or make more money. Now, this isn't necessarily becoming rich. I probably should have said that earlier. But you can definitely make a lot more money finding jobs where, you can get raises and promotion than a dead-end job where this is just, you're stuck at that and you're never going to get any more than that. So definitely find a job where you can excel in. Or you can always start a business. And starting a business can be a good idea or a bad idea. It carries the risks of being a business owner. So sometimes it may not work out, and sometimes you may just not even want to try it at all. In Illinois, it's kind of a rough spot to start a business, but if you want to, that's what you want to do, you can do that. And the fourth tip is to manage your money. Manage your money doesn't always mean making money or saving money. Managing your money is getting your finances under control, stopping yourself from spiraling down into debt, which can sometimes be hard when you have things like loans and whenever you already have debt that's collecting interest. But to minimize that or to stop it completely would be the first step you need to do, is get out of debt. If you're in debt, you're not going to actually make any money. So sometimes that requires a little bit of sacrifice. Sometimes it just needs better management. I recommend just carrying around a little booklet or something so you actually know how much you're spending. Because you spend like $3 there or like $2 there, you don't realize how much stuff is adding up. And if you actually have a book that shows you how much this is adding up, you might be, less inclined to, buy things. Or feel less impulse buying coming upon you because you realize, wow, I've already spent so much. And then the next step I would do is to actually start saving money. And sometimes that could just be not eating out every day of the week or cutting off your cable. There's different ways you can do that. Another great way you can do is start a savings account. Now, a savings account is not the holy grail to make money. You're not going to become rich off of your savings unless you already have a lot of money in there, to where even if you have small interest with that much money, even a small percentage of that money adding up over time is still a huge amount of money. And from that point, yes, I guess you could do that. But most people are not in that situation. And so let's just say you started a savings account. So you have $0 in there. And let's just say you added like $5. Now, depending on your situation, you can add anywhere from $1 a week or something, or maybe like $100 a day. Just depends on where you are. But for this example, we'd use $5 a day. And that ends up meaning annually you put in there $1,825. So that's how much money a year you're putting in there. Like I said earlier, sometimes it can be higher, sometimes it can be lower, depending on where you are in your finances. And let's just say you have an annual interest rate of 3%. And I will do monthly, but you're not going to find compound interest rates for like weeks or days. It's not something that actually happens. You either go annually or monthly. And for this example, you use 3% because 3% annually is very reasonable. Honestly, you're not going to find anything above 7%, and that's just the reality. So if you're planning on getting like 10 to 20% anywhere in that area, it's just not going to happen. If you do, please tell me what bank you have, and I would definitely love to sign up there. I guess it's not impossible, but 10 to 20% range, I would not believe you if you told me you had that. Like I said, I guess it could, but I honestly doubt that it's going to happen. So let's just say 30 years, 3% interest. And how much money you would make after 30 years would end up being, how much money you would have would be $89,000, $429, and then 89 cents, which is a pretty big number. But But the fact is, this is over 30 years of you putting in money. So how much money did you actually put in? You end up putting in $54,750. So that's how much money you put in there. Which, that alone is a lot of money that you've saved up. It can definitely save you in case of an emergency or something happens. And then, how much money did you actually make by doing this? Well, by subtracting the two numbers, you end up getting $34,679.89, which is a lot of money. But you also got to understand, this is over a 30-year period. So you're not going to instantly get this money, or whenever you do get it, it's going to be in such small margins that at the time, it doesn't seem like a lot. Now, and if you're wondering if it's monthly, you end up getting less. When you do it monthly, you end up getting $88,846.13. Why do you get less with more? Because yes, you're getting more interest more times, but you also have smaller amounts in there, which ends up becoming a little bit less. So, as I showed you, a savings account is a great way to do it. There's nothing wrong. Like, a savings account is perfectly fine. I think everybody should have a savings account. Everybody should be trying to save money in case of an emergency, or just you only want to buy something that they're saving up for. And then the next thing I have is invest in portfolios. Now, there's three types of income: active, passive, and portfolio. Portfolio is investments in bonds and royalties. Passive is as like an income that you're not actively involved in, like a landlord, even though it's a little bit debatable. And then there's active. And the best way I can explain this to you is, let's just say you have a restaurant, and the guy who cooks the food or sweeps the floors, that's the active worker. He's actively working in that store to make money. Passive income would be the guy who owns it, and he pays doing all the bills on it, and he goes and every wants a checkup on it, but he's not actually doing most of the work. All you have is just rental property. You constantly have to fix things. Like, people sometimes think that you have to put in work up front and you start making money, but the problem is there's clients that just aren't really that good, and they'll destroy your whole house, or stuff just naturally breaks instantly. And the more houses you have, the more common this occurs. So if you have one house, this may not be a bad idea. It's more of a passive, but the more houses you have, it slowly becomes more like an active income. So that's why it's a little bit debatable, but I think you guys get the idea of what a passive income is. Now, portfolio income is like interest, bonds, and royalties. It's you do zero work. It's like the guy who invests in the restaurant that I talked about earlier. And that's the kind of guy that does zero work and can either gain or lose money. And I wouldn't like, with a passive income, and let's just say a restaurant fails, you're still stuck with a restaurant that you're paying money on until you either like sell it or get rid of it. And sometimes it can damage you. But usually, like a portfolio, and let's just say you invest in a company and it starts becoming, your stock ends up becoming worthless, and you try to sell it and you're like asking for dirt cheap, and really like you're barely making any money off of it. That happens. But usually you can just sell it for a little bit less than nothing and get rid of it, and then you're fine. Not the same thing for houses. It can take months, maybe even up to a year or two before you can sell a house. So it's you kind of have to, like, when crap hits the fan, you're kind of stuck with it a little bit longer with passive income than you would portfolio income. Now, definitely, crap can hit the fan with the portfolio and you could lose just as much money as a passive income, but I feel like it's easier to pick yourself back up whenever portfolio fails, especially when you're not investing literally everything you have into it. And then the next tip I got is to maybe leave Illinois if you live in Illinois, because I live in Illinois, and it's honestly not the best place if you want to start a business or have a business. It's not the best place to making money. There's plenty of other places where it's more beneficial to make money, especially if you have employees with the $15 minimum wage that's about to hit us, I think in 2020. Not 2020. Maybe it is. Who knows? Actually, I think it's 2024, but I'll have it up on the screen to tell you the actual date. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why I can't think of it right now. But the problem is, when that comes around, like I said earlier about the people, like the kids that aren't really that professional, or people that don't have the best appearance, are probably not going to get as many jobs as they used to anymore, because when you're paying $15 an hour for someone, you want someone who will basically do everything as hard as they can. They expect more for paying more. And honestly, if you're trying to start a business that actually has employees, it's not going to work out anymore. That's just not the way you can do things anymore. It'll never happen. Yeah, I actually just ran out of capacity in my recorder real quick, so I go change that out, and then I ended up getting some food from Christopher Casey Hall, and I'm gonna try this coleslaw for a third time real quick. No, this is absolutely garbage. I don't know why I did that. Probably the top 10 worst decisions I've ever done in my life. These beans, though. I think there are a few beans that were stuck in the coleslaw. Try to get them out. Beans are good. The fish is good. I haven't tried the fries yet. I have a tartar on it, but yep, everything is good except that coleslaw. Never eat this coleslaw. Apparently, my mom and dad loved it. I felt a little bit indifferent about that one. The last thing I want to talk about is how our society is becoming very lazy. It's not for the reason you're thinking. Okay, our school had a concert done by the Army, which, as me and many others thought, it was like going to be like a marching band or something like that, with trumpets. But it was like an actual rock band. The fries are good. And there was a lot of people who didn't want to stand up. There's I gotta say about half of them kids that just sat down in their chairs and just played on their phones or just listened. And I'm not one of those people. I mean, I kind of used to be. But I'm one of those people who go into the front and jump up and down and dance. And that's how you get fun. Now, maybe just because they were shy, they thought it wasn't as cool to be doing that. But I kind of think it's the opposite. I think you kind of look lame by doing that. I mean, I love this fish. But yeah, I feel like everybody should just, go up there, learn to have fun, and just enjoy life. I mean, if we can't have a rock and roll concert playing, you can't get excited and jump up or down for that. I don't know what's wrong with you. You're just being sticks in the mud. But there's also people screaming, "Sick play sicko mode." If that's all you care about is a certain few songs that if they don't play them, you don't care at all. I don't know what to tell you. It's a rock band. They're not a rap band. They did one NF song, and then people just wanted to hear "Sicko Mode" and Mombamba. It's a little bit funny in my head just thinking about all those memes. That's basically what it's like a living meme that I was in. But yeah, we can't stand up and sing and dance for concerts. I don't know what's wrong with you. But I know this video is pretty long. I think it's gonna be 40 minutes or something. And I've been told by people this is kind of what they want. I hope this annoys somebody. I don't know who this is gonna annoy that. Man, I hope it just annoy you if you made it this long. But I've been told that people can listen to me for 45 minutes, to an hour, a full-on podcast or whatever. And that's what I'm going to try to do. That's why I made this video a little bit longer, see if people actually want that or care for that. But if you do, please let me know in the comment section. And if not, please tell me if not, because I kind of did this because of what I was told to do. But I was kind of told by my dad, that's too long of a video. People won't want to pay attention for that long, so I don't know. I just kind of want to hear from you guys, and that's all I got for today. I'm going to go enjoy this fish and fries. Not this coleslaw, though. This coleslaw is garbage. I remember the first time I ate it, I kind of wanted to throw the whole thing away because I thought it was going to be garbage. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to try to do a little bit more in later videos, but for right now, this is kind of all I got, and I hope everybody has a great day today. See y'all later.